And welcome back to yet another exciting stream. We have a wonderful show lined up for you today. Of course, my name is Addy. It is Friday, March 21st, 2025. This is officially the first live stream of the spring season of 2025. So I am super excited, mostly because it's Friday. And let's not forget that I promised you tonight. Well, I didn't promise. I don't like to make promises because you never know. You never know when you're inadvertently going to break a promise. So I don't like to make promises a lot. But I have this, and I have. Where's the other one? Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. All right. Let me put this camera back. Got to put that camera back on Baby Yoda. I don't have a picture of my cat, but let's do this. There we go. Is that better? Okay. So I have these two bottles of Down Under Shiraz that my lovely wife got for me when she was on some plane. I don't know that she even remembers what plane she was on, but we might drink those in a little bit. I'm going to let my stomach settle for a minute because she went to. So this of course is my birthday weekend. Yes, my birthday is on Monday. So all week, I mean, it started on Wednesday where I started basically saying to my wife, you know, when I wanted something, or I was like, you know, can you make me something to eat? And she's like, well, I don't want to right now. Well, but my birthday's coming up. But it's going to be my birthday. And I would use that excuse because I'm going to take full advantage of it as long as I can, as much as I can. So it didn't work that well. I mean, it started working as we got closer to my birthday. And so today she went to the grocery store and I sent her a list because she was like, send me a list of things that I wanted her to get. Of course, she has her own list. So don't freak out, feminists. It's not as though I sent my wife to the store to only get the things I wanted to get. She got her own stuff too. She got stuff. And you want to talk about feminists freaking out? I paid for it all, so of course. But I sent her a list of things I wanted, and on the list, I'm gonna find the actual text right now. Here's what I wrote, okay? And I don't want any judgment from anybody. This is the list that I sent to my wife of items I wanted her to get at the grocery store. I wanted her to get sodas, of course. I need sodas to live. Bacon, of course. Eggs, bacon. Now here's where the birthday stuff comes in. Yellow cake. So for my birthday, the first year that my wife and I started dating, the very first year that we started dating. Rachel Woolley writes out, can you shout me out? Can you shout me out? I liked Evie Mae Duffy. I don't know who that is or what that's referring to, but consider that your shout out. But what happened is the very first birthday I had with my wife. We weren't married. We had been dating for about 6 to 8 months or so. And you know, she's like, well, what do you want for your birthday? Not like what do I want to do? Do I want a dinner, a lunch? Or you're like, what do I want? Like, what special thing do I want? And I told her, I said, the only thing I want for my birthday is I want a yellow cake with just a very, like a paper thin layer of chocolate. That's all I wanted. Just a yellow cake with a super thin layer of chocolate. And what does she do? She goes to a bakery and buys me this huge, extravagant cake, like this massive cake with all this icing and all these like flowers and icing stuff on it. I appreciated the sentiment and I liked the thought and I was happy that she tried, but it was disappointing because really when it comes to dessert, when it comes to cake, all I want is a moist yellow cake. You can go to the grocery store and buy the pre-mixed box of yellow cake mix. That's what I want. I want that because I want the yellow number 5 and like the carcinogens and all the other gens and Ians. I want all that stuff in my cake. And then you just buy a thing of chocolate icing And literally, it needs to be like, I mean, you see this playing card right here? Like, that is how much icing, that is how thick the layer of icing should be on my ideal cake. So that first year when she got me the big extravagant cake, it was like, and she was, and she was mad that I didn't like it. Or I was disappointed, and she's mad that I'm disappointed, but whatever. But ever since then, she'll ask me now, like, do you want yellow cake on your birthday? And I'm like, yes. So I was reading off the list of groceries of items I asked her to get at the grocery store. So soda, bacon, eggs, yellow cake. And then here's the other thing that I like. I asked her very clearly, I asked her to get me a box of plain or chocolate donuts. And I even wrote in parentheses, it's my birthday, because normally I would not condone having a box of donuts in the house, because if they are in the house, I will eat them. What is this? But it was, I'm driving to go see my friend Scott. Okay, I was writing to my brother-in-law. I sent him a link to the stream. So anyway, but I would not condone having a box of donuts in my house. But since it's my birthday, I wrote to her, I said, box of plain or chocolate donuts. And she brought me back a single glazed donut, a single chocolate glazed donut, or what, a glazed donut with chocolate icing. I wanted the whole box. I wasn't planning on eating the whole box tonight, but my birthday is on Monday. Today is Friday. That is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 4 days. It's not really 4 days, but we're going to call it 4 days. That's 4 days I would have had to eat an entire box of donuts. And that's still a lot, but it's not it's not crazy. It's not unheard of. And it's my birthday. So, but she got me a single donut, which honestly is probably all I really need. I asked her also to get me this vegan cheese because there's this Kraft vegan cheddar cheese. I think I've talked about it on this stream before. I love this stuff. Like normal, I like normal cheese. I especially like goat cheese. But normal cheese kind of gives me like it's not terrible, but I got a little issues with the goat cheese. I mean, not with the cheddar cheese. And so this vegan cheese that I've been eating for about a year now, I love that stuff. I eat it. I mean, when I make a sandwich, I'll use the vegan cheddar cheese. And I'm not a vegan because the very next item I told her to get me was sliced turkey. Because I will use the vegan cheese on my turkey sandwiches. I will also use the vegan cheese on my cheeseburgers. So there, I just remembered I have frozen beef. Oh, I could thaw that up. I'm having cheeseburgers for lunch tomorrow. So thanks for joining. Not Sure says dulce leche is great. Dulce leche, sweet milk is basically what dulce leche means. But I'm like, what? Okay, so he correct. Tres leches. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of the tres leches dessert. I ate a box of Oreos yesterday. I was so sick. Oh man. A couple weeks ago when I got that stomach virus, the next day, like the only thing that I still had a bit of an appetite, but the only thing that I could like even think about eating without getting sick was Oreos. And so I got, and actually today, so yesterday when we went to 7-Eleven, I got a little pack of the Oreos that are, the little, it's 6 Oreos. I ate 6 yesterday and I ate 6 today because I got 2 packs of them and they're gone. And like I said, it's my birthday. Okay. My birthday is on Monday. I am allowed to indulge. I am allowed to pig out. This is my one weekend after this. And this is a big birthday. This is a milestone of a birthday. And I am going to be 30 years old. I am so old. 30 years old. Can you even? No, I'll be on. Okay. I don't even want to say how old I am. It's like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like I'm old enough where like, how can I put this? Maybe I don't want to go that way. I don't want to go that way. No. But basically, like, I'm probably going to start lying about my age in the next soon, in the next soon, because that's a time. I'm going to be 50. I'm going to be 50 years old. This is the last weekend of my 40s. And I remember I thought so here's the thing, when I don't really remember turning 10. If you're over 30, do you remember turning 10? Maybe. I kind of remember turning 10, and I remember it being a milestone because I was like, oh, I'm in double digits now. That's but I don't know if I actually remember that or if I just know I thought that. So I remember remembering it. There's a subtle difference. So I don't know if I remember turning 10 like that. But then I remember at 20, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, this adulthood thing is really starting. And then at 30, I remember thinking wow, well, what did I do with the first 10, 12 years of adulthood? Man, at 40, I was thinking as I was approaching 40, I started thinking wow, oof, I need to accomplish something. I really don't know. 40, it was 40 was I'm headed towards the second half of my life. And at 50, you really start thinking well, how much time do I have left? Because honestly, I mentally and pretty much physically, I feel about the same as I did at 38, 39. Maybe lately that's not becoming less and less true because lately things are hurting more. So I definitely feel the age physically, but mostly my thinking process still feels like the thinking process I had at 30, mid to late 30s, right? Around your mid to late 30s, at least for me, that's really when it's not when you hit maturity, but you gain a lot of patience. People piss you off and you just you take a deep breath and you don't react. Or maybe you think about your reaction before you react. Or, there's a definite, I don't know how to, there's a wisdom, I think. And I guess I feel more wise than I did at 38. But overall, I still feel like a 38-year-old me. And so you start thinking, well, shit, in 20 years, I'm going to be 70. And then it really just hit me this morning. I was laying in bed. I woke up. And I do this thing when I wake up where I like to stay in the position. I wake up and I won't move. I'll stay in the position that I was sleeping in. And I'll try to remember the position because sometimes I have a hard time getting comfortable. And I'm like, well, if I found this position in my sleep, I presumably was in this position for an extended period of time. So some part of me finds it comfortable. So I try to remember the positions that I fall asleep in. So I woke up and I'm laying there and I hadn't moved, but I'd opened my eyes and I kind of peeked up at the clock. I have a LED or what is it? It's not infrared. I have an LED display on my ceiling that shows you the time and temperature. Oh, it's awesome because I can be laying on my side and just kind of peek up at the ceiling and I can see the time and temperature. But I was laying there and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be 50 soon. And then I was like, holy shit. That means it's 10 years until I'm 60. And because you think about I can sit there and be okay, in 20 years I'm going to be 70. And it's well, 20 years is still a very long time, right? It's even at my age, 20 years still feels like a long time. Because if I think, okay, I turned 30 20 years ago. What was I doing 20 years ago? It was with I was 4 ex-girlfriends ago and 2 different houses ago. It was just all these milestones that were a long time. So 20 years seems like a long time, whereas 10 years is 10 years isn't that long. So I don't know. I mean, the years go by faster when you're old. They do. Well, I heard a great explanation of this, and I love this explanation because it's to go from 10 to 20. Okay, I'll be fair. To go from 0 to 10, do you you really don't even remember the first 6 or 7 years. Yeah, you have scattered memories and stuff, but you don't really remember your memory between 0 and 12 years old. 11, 12 years old is not the same as your memory from like 20 to 30, right? It's a very different memory. So, but the explanation I heard is that like, so from like 10 to 20, like that's probably like when you actually start forming like long-lasting, I would say long-lasting memories of somewhat trivial things. Because the memories you have of your younger years are probably like important things, like birthday parties or tragic things that happened or very exciting, fun things that happened. You remember those when you were like 8, right? But you don't remember like you don't remember a lot of random things. But in your teen years, you start to develop all these like random memories. And but anyway, but going from 10 to 20, that is at that point, by the time you reach 20, that 10-year span is like half your life. That was half the life you lived. Whereas now going from 50 to 60, that's like a sixth of the life I've lived. Or, going from 40 to 50, that's like a fifth of it. So, it's the fraction of time, each, how can I put this? Each increment of time becomes a smaller and smaller fraction of your life. And I think that has a lot to do with why of this perception that time seems to go by faster as you get older. And then another thing, I'm going to get a little real here. I'm going to get a little real, and I'm going to get a little vulnerable. I'm going to overshare when I probably shouldn't. So not sure. You need to be careful what you say. But I am. And no, I honestly don't even want to talk. I kind of don't want to talk about it. But I lost my grandmother last year. Right? At the age of 48. How many people have a grandparent still alive at 48? Now, that was my last grandparent. That was the last grandparent I had alive at but she was with me until I was 48 years old. And I also think about my parents, who both are still alive. They're both healthy. They're both cognitively healthy, physically healthy. They're both like there mentally. They're both still doing their own thing. My dad still works because he says when people retire, that's when they die. And I'm like, oh, he's got a point. And my mom, she's retired, but she still volunteers like at her church and at shelters. Like my mom's just a volunteer maniac. So she's doing all kinds of stuff. But it just seems so depressing because how much longer am I going to have this? Right? Like how much, it's just like you start thinking about it. Like when I'm 70, when in 20, like, and you think that's another way to think of it is like in the next 20 years, I'll probably lose my parents. And I hate to say that, but this is the kind of thing that just, it's been eating at me more and more. Like in the next 20 years, I will probably lose both my parents. I might lose, and I mean, I might die. I might die tomorrow, right? But you kind of don't think about that. At least you just, because I think if I don't have a heart attack in my 50s, which I don't think, I hope I don't. I mean, you never know. But I'm a little overweight, but I maintain a healthy weight overall, and I'm very active. Though I did have a chocolate donut, so I don't worry too much about my own death in the near term. But I forgot what I was saying. It just sucks. It just sucks because I can see just getting old seems lonely. It just seems very lonely because your kids will have their own life. You grow apart from other people in your family. The older you get, the fewer friends you have. And then there's the thought of like, who's going to take care of me? Like when I'm like 70, like if I need it. And like, that's the thing. Like God forbid. Like my uncle, I have an uncle. He's 70 years old. He's fine. My uncle, he's like hooking up with like 38-year-old girls. And I'm pretty sure there's some like sugar daddy thing going on, but whatever, he's like out there, like he's getting it on, living his life, doing his thing. And I'm like, good for him. And my mom, she's just like, oh, that's so disgusting. What does a 38-year-old woman want with a 70-year-old man? And I'm like, who cares? They're both adults. Who cares? If she's getting what she wants and she's happy, and he's getting what he wants and he's happy, and neither one of them are being taken advantage of, and neither one of them is getting scammed or cheated or abused, then who cares? What's the big deal? Like who cares? So at 38, I mean, at 70, I'm like, and my uncle, he lives on his own. My dad lives with my stepmother, but he's on his own. It's not like they're in a home or anything. So I don't know. Not Sure says everyone dies. Yes, indeed. Each year is a smaller percentage of your life. Yep, it certainly is. We are but blades of grass. Isn't that a lyrics of a song? Something of the sea. Dust in the wind. All in all, I'll read dust in the wind. That's what it is. Dust in the wind. So I don't know, man. It's just turning 50. You really start thinking like, well, how much time do I have left? And then I was going to mention, like, you start thinking about retirement, but I started thinking about retirement. I started thinking a lot more about retirement like 5-6 years ago, and started kind of like long-term planning for it. So that's I'm not super worried about retirement. I mean, my emergency plan is to sell. I'm fortunate enough to own a couple properties. I have positive equity in all of them because I've owned them for a while. So my plan is, like, if I need to, you know what? Sell everything, move to Bolivia, buy a condo in a nice part of La Paz, Bolivia for like $80,000, and just live there for like off my retirement. Like, let's do it. Cost of living in Bolivia is dirt cheap. Bolivia is not for everybody. I know people will be like, oh, Bolivia is a dump. Who wants to live in Bolivia? Blah, blah, blah. But for me, I like Bolivia. I would not. Now, my preference, of course, would be to retire here in the good old United States of America. But if I have to, I'll pack up and just go to Bolivia, man. Like, that's fine. I got my citizenship there. I can register my marriage, and my wife can come with me. We'll bring the dogs. We'll bring the cats. We'll have a condo. I'll get a little cholita to come in and clean the house 2 or 3 times a week, and that's all I'm going to say. But I mean, I can have a nice life in Bolivia. I got lots of family in Bolivia. I have lots of nieces and nephews. No, I'm not super concerned with retirement. I'm more concerned with the depression that kind of comes along with aging. And I don't know that I ever thought about it before, but I'm assuming this is a pretty common thing. And then I start thinking about my mom, and I start thinking, like, my dad I don't worry so much about, because my dad has my stepmom, and my dad has like a million other children. On my dad's side, I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers and another brother that nobody talks about. But I mean, he's got tons of children, and he still lives at my stepmother's a few years younger. My stepmother's like 67, 68. So, I mean, I'm not worried about my dad, but my mom, she lives in the middle of nowhere. She's all by herself because her husband died like, I guess maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point. So and I'm like, but she's super volunteering. Oh my God. Every time I stream, Jesus Christ, every time I stream, he calls me. So, but anyway, yeah, no, it's, so then there's like, okay, well, I need to appreciate my mother more, and I need to like call my mother more. You ever get the, like, I try to think about that, and then I call my mom, and I'm like, I love my mom, but it's just like, so I don't know. But and then I'm like, well, what about my daughter? Does my daughter feel the same way about me? Yes, she probably does. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. Well, who's going to take care of me when I'm old? Hopefully my wife. If my wife doesn't take care of me when I'm old, or my wife, God forbid, she passes before me, I'm going to have to live with my daughter. Or like, all these things about what's going to happen when you're 70, 80 years old, they're more prevalent in your mind as you're approaching 50, because you're like, God damn it, how close am I to 50? This is ridiculous. So, I don't know. I need some, let's see, copyright-free, depressing music. That's what we need right now. Sad music, no copyright. So, Yeah, I don't. I mean, this whole turning 50 thing. It really. And like another thing, like where I live, like all my life. Why am I like oversharing right now? Why am I oversharing on this stream? But all my life, I wanted to live in a cold place. Like when I was a kid, I want to move to Alaska because I love the cold. I love winter. Even as an adult, I love the cold and I love winter. And I'm like, okay, well, I live 20 miles away. I live like 10, 15 miles away from where I live. Okay, wait, I'm going to get directions. I actually want to know. I want to buy Prince George's PG County Hospital. That's where I was born. So let's see. So PG County, there it is, Prince George's County Hospital. Now I am over here. This does not need to be exactly correct. The hospital I was born was here. I live 25 miles as the crow flies from where I was born. And all my life I'm like, I need to move. I want to move to Alaska. But I mean, that's what I wanted to do when I was a kid and when I was younger. But nowadays, not so much. Nowadays, I'd be much happier, I think, moving to Maine. It's cold. It's still America. It's close to my daughter. But you start thinking like, well, shit, I better do this in like the next 5 years, because if I don't do it in the next 5 years, what am I going to do? I'm going to have like 10 years to enjoy it? Like, really? Like, no. Not Sure says, I lived in New Hampshire. F that. Nah, man. No. I love the winter. I love the winter. Colorado is nice. 300 days of sunshine. I don't like sunshine. I like overcast, cloudy days. That is what I like. Overcast, cloudy days, and I would be happy in a place where the warmest it ever got was in the 60s. Like, if summer was like 60s with maybe the occasional 70s, I am happy. I'm happy. Like, this 100-degree bullshit, no, get that out of here. No, I don't want, like, because here where I live, it's coming. It so far, it's been pretty cool. Like, normally you'll get, like, at this time of year, you'll normally start getting a hot day every now and then. But so far, we haven't had any. But the days of like 85 and humid, that's what it's going to be like from sometime in May to sometime in September. 85 and humid. And the thing about 85 and humid is it might as well be 105 and humid. 85 and humid, it's as bad as 105 and humid. I'm not kidding. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So that's what I was thinking. But I am so glad you're here, because I want to do some programming tonight. I want to do some programming, and I'm going to work on a project that I know you guys have pretty much no interest in working on, but I think it's what we're going to work on, because I was trying to prioritize the projects of my life, and I was like, okay, what things can I get done quickly? What things can I get done in a short amount of time that bring some value and that I can kind of put behind me, for like a lack of a better term, that I can kind of put behind me and watch, and kind of move on, right? And so one of them is this paste lock. And let me show you what paste lock is. So if I do a new thread, right? And let's just say I come over here and I just copy this paragraph. I'm going to go Control-C on this. And then I'm going to go, this is a test, right? And then now I am just going to do Control-V and save. Boom, done. No problem. Well, it's a little slow, but it is what it is, right? Okay, so this gets done. And there you go. Oh, Not Sure left me. Not Sure left me. I can't believe it. He left me. But so you see, I just Control-V'd everything onto the page. What I want to do for my message board, there's a particular user who just posts AI, right? Now, the thing about my message board, anothermessageboard.com, you can also go to amb.dog, which I personally prefer. A as in apple, M as in man, B as in boy, .dog. But there's also amb.la, amb.live, amb. There's a bunch of others I can't remember. amb.ai might be one. I don't know, but amb.dog if you want to go there. Oh, not sure is here. He says the chat thing. No, I'm not going to work on the chat thing. But have you seen Manus? AI can make full project builds now. I have not seen Manus. No, so what I want to, there's a particular user on my message board, I'll check out Manus in a second, that he basically, all he does is he'll sit there and he'll argue, but he'll like try to make it look like he's writing what the AI has written for him, and everybody knows, and he like denies it. So, and he'll paste walls of text. What I want to do is I want to limit him to one control V a day, or like one control V in a, one control V in like some time period. Tanazaki says, I am a former president of AMB and I'm ruler of Bartertown. That is true. Tanazaki and I met on my message board. He kept sending me dick pics and I was like, no, stop it. I don't want that. So it is what it is. But yes, no, but amb.dog, I don't know, not sure. I'm not sure if you would like it, you know, pun not intended, but it's there anyway. You might, I don't know. I don't know. It's very, it's like a troll board. It's basically a troll. It's basically just filled with trolls. It's a little racy. It's a little. Let's just say that things that get posted on there would get you banned from Reddit. We'll just call it that. We'll just say that. It's a little controversial. We'll call it that. But anyway, so that's the that is the plugin I want to work on, but I'm going to check out manus.ai first. Leave it to Manus. Manus is a general AI agent that bridges minds and actions, blah, blah. Here, you know what? So AI has completely let me down. Is it like 4chan, but not so retarded? Yeah, I would say it's like 4chan. Yeah, it's a little bit like 4chan, but it's a very small community. It's maybe 15 regular people, 10 to 15 regular users. What was I just saying? Oh, so AI completely let me down. I am fortunate enough where I'm in a position in my professional life where I can kind of work on the things I want to. As long as they're relevant to the business, I can kind of do what I want. And so there's this project I've been talking about I've been talking with other developers about. And these are I come from a strong C++ background, but these other developers, they're Java. They're all Java the developers. And so I was talking to them about this project that we need to work on, but it's all like Java services. And so I'm going to be relying on like 2 other people to do the bulk of the work. But you know, that's why I'm their manager, and because they're good. But I wanted to know more. So I had an idea of what the general architecture for the project is, right? Data comes in, it's written to an S3 bucket, you're writing Parquet files, and you're using an iceberg table format, and and you're using like Nessie catalog. Like there's all these terms that I had to learn, right? And learn what all this does with the data coming in, being written to Parquet files in a table format, in an iceberg table format, and then Trino comes along and queries it, and then you can get your results back. Right? With me so far? I hope so. So I'm like, okay, I wanted to set up a stack locally so that I could generate fake data. That's easy enough. That's a simple Python script to just kind of, create some key value pairs like that. That's easy. I'm not worried about that at all. And then I want to have it written to S3. And then I was looking around and I found a project called Minio, which is basically a locally ran S3 bucket, right? It's exactly for what I want to do, kind of like proof of concepts and stuff like that. There is a license for enterprise use, but I'm just using it for like testing and proof of concept. And then, so I need Minio, and then I need Trino on top of it. And basically, really, in terms of services, I just need Minio and Trino. I spent 3 days trying to get Trino set up correctly. I used Grok. I used ChatGPT. Oh, there's 4. I used Copilot, and I used Claude. None of them could fucking get Trino to interact with my S3 bucket the way it needed to. None of them. Grok actually started to feel bad for me, and I'm not even making this up. Like, I guess, I don't guess, I know that AI will, like, especially Grok will, like, kind of pick up on your tone. It will kind of, like, reflect that back to you a little bit. And Grok is just like, I'm sorry, man. It, like, when I saw it say, I'm sorry, man, like, unprompted, then I just kind of started fucking with it. And I was just like, I know this is fucking ridiculous. And then it just picked up on that and it was just feeding off of that. So Grok was no help. Claude, which one of the guys I work with, like, he's just going, oh, Claude's the greatest thing. But he just recently discovered AI is useful like a month ago, which drives me nuts because I've been telling him for like 2 years. I started using Copilot back when it was in beta. And I told him at the time, and he was like, I don't. And now, like, literally, like, a month ago, he started using AI. And he's like, oh my God, did you know it could do this, this, and this? And I'm like, yes, I've been telling you. But so he just swears up and down by Claude. Claude was a no help. Copilot, which is built into Visual Studio Code, and no help. And ChatGPT, no help. Like 4 goddamn AIs. None of them could get this. None of them could get Trino working. Finally, as I was kind of wrapping up today, finally, I think it was which one was it? It might have been ChatGPT. No, it was Gemini. Gemini's another one. Gemini said something that kind of led me down a path where I think now I know what the problem is because I'm doing it all in Docker. I'm not going to show you because it's actually like work-related stuff, but I can explain it because I'm using Docker, and when Trino starts up, I have to pass it a proprietary configuration file on the command line that starts it. None of them picked up on that until Gemini said something, and then I kind of asked Gemini about it, and Gemini is like, you are absolutely correct, blah, blah, blah. But I by that point, I was exhausted. I was like, okay, I have a new lead. I'll try it on Monday. I might try it over the weekend if I get bored, but you should train your own model with Ollama and DeepSeek. I played around with Ollama. I think I did. Is Ollama the one that's all online? So when I was in Tromsø, when I was in Norway, for my message board again, there's the same user who posts AI. I wanted to create an AI bot that responded like he would. So I wrote a script that basically I just extracted, like, I started with like 1,000 of his posts, and then I tried training a local model, and then I trained it with like 10 posts, and it took like an hour. And then I started training it with like 1,000 posts, and I went to bed, and I got up, and then when I woke up after 8 hours of sleep, it was only like 2% done. And I was like, okay, that's not going to work. And then I started using, is it Google Projects or Google something? Google something where you get, you can run Python code in a browser, not in a browser, but on their on their cloud, basically. What it was because it was really neat. It was like maybe it was Google Notebooks. I don't remember, but I did that, and I was able, like, within a few hours, it was able to actually train on like 1,000 posts by this guy, and but it didn't work. I couldn't get it to it just returned nonsense. It wasn't working. Blah blah. Ollama you can run locally. Yeah. I mean, I got the internet. I'm fine with the internet. I don't mind using the internet. It's all right. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, the guy who runs Google, they all got my info. I don't have anything to hide. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. I don't mind. Let's see. Manus is a general agent. Okay, so what is Manus? Okay, try Manus. Join the wait list. All right, I'm going to join the wait list. I'm going to do this off. Let me do this off screen over here. So let's see. What use case would you like to use? Would you like Manus to execute for you? Here. Whoop. Nope. Bring this over. Okay. I am attempting to take God damn it, over all governments and become leader of the world. All right, easy enough. Profession. Evil villain. Did I spell villain right? Is it Villain? Yes. Work email. addygoeslive1@gmail.com. Social media accounts. All right, social media accounts. I think we're going to do twitter.com/Elon Musk. And then we're going to do youtube.com/@MrBeast. Submit request. All right, we'll see if this goes. All right, well, we'll see. Visit. So I can't try it right now, apparently. Is this? Wait, where did that picture go? Where did the pic? There it is. If this guy, is he the CEO? Because he looks like he's about 12. Like, honestly, is this... okay, I'm going to turn the music down. This doesn't sound very depressing either, but let's see.
Hi, I'm Pete from Manus AI. For the past year...
Co-founder and chief scientist. Well, I will say, when he talks, he does look a little bit older. But even... So, before he spoke, he looked like he was about 12. Now, after talking, he looks like he's about 19. He's about 19. He is the co-founder and chief scientist. What have I done with my life? I'm streaming on YouTube to 3 people. That's this guy. He's out here creating AIs that are going to make him $10 billion, and he's going to be the next Elon Musk. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here talking about how sad I am that I'm turning 50 to 3 people. So yeah. Evaluate that. I'm going to do something off screen. I'll be right back. Let me play. Oh wait. Oh, I think I can. I'm going to try this. Let me see. Okay, taking a break. Choose how long you'll be away. I'm going to use this new feature. Choose how long you'll be away. We'll show ads to applicable users so your stream will keep earning. Your YouTube does not change your sound settings. Remember to mute your mics. All right, not sure. I'll be right back. I want to see what this does anyway. Okay, thank you for letting me know the mic is muted. Did it play an ad when I clicked that button? Did I play an ad here when I did the start break? I was saying not sure says being a billionaire is a lot of a headache. I don't know that it is. I think the headache part, I feel like the headache part comes with being famous. I think that's the headache. But I don't think actually having all the money is necessarily a headache. Now, you might have lots of friends, like, oh, hey, we were in the same homeroom in 8th grade. Can I have $100,000? You might have a lot of that. That might be a bit of a headache. but I'll just say it's a headache I wouldn't mind having. I'll put it that way. Like it's a headache I wouldn't mind having. What is this guy doing? I'm going to take that. I might come here. Bishop to G5, maybe. I hope my mic's still not muted. Testing. No, it's not muted. Okay. You don't make money by being a nice guy. No, you don't. Okay, so he wants to take this. We'll just come. If I go here, he goes here. What if I go here? I done messed up. That's a stupid move. I use Brave browser. I've never seen an ad on YouTube. Oh, cool. Oh, that's a dangerous move. No, I've been using Chrome less because Chrome has become garbage. Chrome has become absolute garbage. Chrome is suffering from screw this. Chrome is suffering from the I don't have the heart in me. I want to program. Chrome is suffering the same problem that Explorer started suffering in like the mid-noughts, or like right around Chrome, because Chrome came out in like 2005, 6, 4, somewhere around there. And what year was Chrome released? 2008. Wow. But so I remember like, you know, because Explorer just became so bulky. Explorer became really, it just became, this was when I was on Windows. I'm on Windows now, but I use Mac mostly. But Explorer became so bulky and it became slow and heavy. And then people went to Chrome because it's like, oh, this nice new light and stable and like fancy, very fast browser. And it's like, okay, cool. And then people liked it because it was those things. Now it's just as bad as Explorer was when Explorer started dying. I will I'll put my computer to sleep, and this happens on my Mac and it happens on my Windows. If I like my MacBook, if I lift it up, I have to wait like a good 30 to 60 seconds because Chrome freezes. It won't respond. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, all right. Everything else responds just fine. And this just started happening like 6 months ago, 4, 5, 6 months ago. And then the same exact thing happens on Windows, where I'll put this computer to sleep, this very computer. I work on this same computer sometimes, but I'll put it to sleep. And when I wake it up, Chrome is just like, nope, Chrome's like, yeah, just give me a minute. Oh, it's like it has this stretch and like, oh yeah, oh man, I'm so hungover. Oh, that's what Chrome's doing. Chrome's just hungover and it just doesn't want to work. I don't get it. What is this? What is? Oh shoot. I thought I never clicked the go live on Restream. I thought I was live on Kick. Okay, I'm live on Kick now apparently, but I wasn't. I for like the past hour, I thought that I was live on. I use this Restream service that I'm on Kick and Twitch. I don't know why. I have 2 followers on Twitch and 1 follower on Kick, but I thought, why not? Because that's what the kids use. There's a lawsuit right now. Google Chrome was tracking people when they were using incognito mode. No, you don't say. No. Well, I bet I wonder if by still tracking people, because the incognito mode, really, it just has no history, no cookie, like your cookies get deleted, things like that. But I bet there was still server-side tracking that was being done. So your client has your browser has a fingerprint. Chrome and Google using your IP and that fingerprint it was probably still tracking you. I bet that's the tracking that they're talking about. And that is probably, and Chrome is going, and Google's going to argue like, no, like if you look at the details of incognito mode, all we promise is that we're not going to save cookies and we're not going to save browser history, or, you know, they're going to do something like that. Whereas what the lawsuit's probably saying something like, well, you were still tracking us on the server side because you knew it was us. We would go to incognito mode, and you knew we still went to a certain hub, and and so because really, isn't that like the only reason to use incognito mode? Like, I know I'm not the only one, right? I go to Hub Central in incognito mode, and you know what I'm talking about. And I don't know that there is any other, like, why else are you using incognito mode? And the only reason to use incognito mode, and at least in my mind, the only reason to use incognito mode is if I don't want a record on my PC of where I've been or what I've done. However, I have no expectation that on Google servers that stuff isn't done. Google do they still have this timeline.google.com? I don't know if they've gotten rid of it yet. Oh wait, no. This is the wrong account. When I realized this existed, I was like, this is freaky. Let me pull it up over here. Okay, Chrome is doing that thing. Oh, I can't do it. But basically, oh man. Yeah, no, that sucks. Why can't I do it in a browser? It had everywhere I had been since like 2012. Every trip I took, every walk I took, every drive I took, it was all there in that app, timeline.google.com. It was all there. And it was like, at first it was really scary. And then I realized, well, I'm not a terrorist or a criminal. So yes, it kind of feels a little violaty at my Fourth Amendment, but I don't care too much, I guess. Because then it kind of got neat. Like, oh, well, where did I go on August 22nd, 2015? Actually, I want to know. I want to see if I can look this up here. Wait. No, I'll do it off screen. I'll do it on the next show. Not Sure says, corn is brain rot, but it's difficult to stop. Yeah, I don't disagree. With you, but yeah, I had a therapist once, and she told me that I would talk to her about all my problems and all the bad things and stuff like that. And she was like, you're the kind of person that likes to dabble in addictions. I'm like, okay, all right. Now, I'm not saying that corn was an addiction, but I get what she was saying. It was just like, like I like to dabble in addictions and like, I don't know. Can we just program? Okay. Can we just please program? All right. Just stop. Just stop with all this. Okay. What were we doing? We were doing, all right. We're going to try this in. We're going to try and focus, but Not Sure keeps distracting me. And I don't know where Razman is. And now I'm thinking I want to play a game of chess again. God. All right. I'm not going to screw this game of chess up. I'm going to, I thought I resigned. Or is this like a daily game? Oh, okay. That's like Stockfish or something. Okay. Let me go back over here. Create game. Easy. No, not 5 minutes. 30 minutes. 15:10. We'll do 15. We'll try to do 15:10. Oh, Razman is here. Hey, Razman. How's it going? Yeah, my 2 listeners are here. My wife, she was like, you going to go stream? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, is anybody going to listen? And I was like, no, there's like 2 guys that hang out. I was explaining to her, like, yeah, it's like hanging out with 2 buddies. Like, kind of. Like, it's just kind of hanging out with like 2 of my buddies. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, we're going to code. Okay, we're going to code. We're going to code. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I promise. Let's do this, because normally I will stop at like normally I'll stop the stream at 9:00 because I like to go to bed because I got to get up early, blah blah blah, but it's Friday night. We're going to get freaky with it, okay? We might even stay up until like 9:30. Like, whoa. 9:30. Whoa. So just you wait. It's about to get crazy up here. About to get crazy up. What is this guy doing? Careless Pieces. Now remember, guys, don't give me help because I don't want Razman. I want to impress Razman. I want him to know that I can win chess games by myself. Let's go in here. I'm going to put, but then he just comes down. I'm thinking I push up and then I bring my bishop here. We'll see how he responds to this. He might go there, though. Let's see how he... Focus, Senpai. Okay, we're going to focus. We're going to focus. I promise you, we are going to focus after this chess game. We're going to program. We're going to do so much programming. You're going to be programmed. Program. My buddy Tanizaki left me because I was talking about computers. And unless you're talking about the Japanese language, he's just not interested. All right, come on, guy. What is going on? Come on, Careless Pieces. Careless Pieces. Ooh, 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 ooh. Never want to dance again. I got no rhythm. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 again. You know I'm not a fool. Should have known better than to cheat a friend. Guilty, but God, I screwed up. I gave him a pawn. I gave him a free pawn. Do you know that song? I don't think it's Careless Whispers, though. I think I'm singing a different song than Careless Whispers or Careless Pieces. No, Careless Pieces. No, Careless. Wait. You know I'm not a fool. Should have known better than to cheat a friend. You guilty pleasure. Should have known better than to cheat. Yeah, should have known better than to cheat a friend. Here it is. Oh, it's George Michael. It is Careless Whisper. I was right. Should have known better than to cheat a friend. Waste the chance that I'd been given. So I'm never going to dance again the way I dance with you. Come on, man. Come on, we got some programming to do. Let's make a move. You're up a pawn. He could. Where should he go? He might want to develop this. That's not going to help him much, though. He could develop this, come out. Develop that, come out here. I think he might have abandoned the game. That's just kind of the impression I'm getting here. Should have known better than the G. I wish I could listen to that song. I'm pretty sure that would get a copyright strike, but I wish I could listen to that song right now. Would it be a copyright strike or would it just be like a demonetization, can't monetize the video? Because I can't monetize the video anyway. YouTube really needs an AI for that kind of thing. So that I could use YouTube and be like, hey, can I play an excerpt from Careless Whispers on my show? I'm just going to ask AI anyway. I'm going to ask Gemini since it's Google. Can I play a clip of the song Careless Whispers on my live YouTube stream without getting in trouble? Let's see what happens. BE7. He's not moving. Why do you want me to BE7? You're helping him now. That's what you're helping. BE7. Wait. Oh, bishop to E7. Okay, E7. Wait. You want me to take? I don't know that taking really gets me anything right now. He's moved his queen out of the way. Let's look at this. I take, he pushes up. If that pawn wasn't there, can I get rid of that pawn? No, because I was going to say if I could get rid of that pawn, if his king's here, then I could fork the king and the queen. But why don't you have computers? Why don't computers have voice to text? They do. Oh no, I'll tell you. Remind me to tell you a story about voice to text in a minute. Once I'm done with, well, I'll just tell it now. So, again, at my day job, we have been furiously interviewing. We've been furiously interviewing tons of people, interviewing like crazy. The greatest thing ever. But we've been doing that. And we've had 2 people that I have interviewed. One was very blatant. The other one was not so blatant, but a little blatant, where the questions we're asking, they obviously had some app that was listening to the questions, feeding the questions into AI, and then responding, and then they're reading the response. This one guy, he was so blatant about it, right? Because I asked him, I might have talked about this already, but I asked him, I remember the question I asked him where it became just blatantly obvious because these are for UI positions, like doing UI programming. And so I asked him, I'm like, so can you tell me the differences between, or tell me some of the differences between JavaScript and TypeScript? And he's like, I can tell you the difference between, the difference between TypeScript and JavaScript. Well, TypeScript is and then he just starts going, well, TypeScript is a transpiled language that was written in, it was just going blah, 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 blah. But there was like an obvious stall as the AI was computing its response. He's sitting there like stalling, like, yeah, I can tell. Yeah. And then as soon as the response comes, it just starts coming out as though it's some stream of conscious thought. And it was just so blatant. Oh, he moved. Oh, he's waiting for me. I thought he was supposed to be moving. All right, I'm going to take. So yes. So there are people who are doing this. This is a common thing apparently, it's a common thing where people are just using AI. They're just using AI for their job interviews. All right, let's see. All right. Now, how can I get rid of this? I don't know that there is any. I mean, because if I do this, he's just going to come back and it's the same problem and solves nothing. Even more reason to get rid of that. Job interviews, using AI for job interviews, not acceptable. Not acceptable. We're going to program. We are going to program. I know I have been streaming for over an hour and we have yet to program, but we're going to do it. I can win. I think I can win his queen. Oh shit! No! 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 I was trying to draw the arrow. I didn't want to actually move. No! Oh, no. I would have won his queen. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Come on. Maybe he'll let me take it back. Oh, man. No. No. Just game over, man. Game over. Oh, man. I was trying to draw a picture. But instead I moved the goddamn knight. Because I would have taken this, he would have taken back, and I would have won the queen. Ah, man. That stinks. It stinks. It stinks, I tell you. That stinks. All right. So, Razman, in case you weren't here, what we're going to program. The best plugin ever for Xenforo. Best plugin ever. So here, I don't know if you were here, Razman, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So here's the message board here's the message board software that my message board uses. And I'm just Control-Cing this, and I'm Control-Ving, And I have a guy on my board. He likes to use AI a lot and pretend that he's actually writing. Everybody knows he's using AI. So there's a couple plugins I want to write. Because I was thinking another one might be to just kind of, excuse me. I was thinking the other one might be to just have a plugin that just measures how likely every post was that it was AI when it's been submitted. That's down the road. The first one I want to do is I want to limit his paste ability to once per day. So there's a permission thing here. There's some JavaScript that's going to be involved. We're going to get to it. Let's do it. We're doing it. Are you guys ready to program? Okay. The job interview AI tool is called Locked In AI. I believe it. Let me see. Locked In AI. Ace any job interview. No. But the thing is like the one guy, there was one of the guys. How can I put this? He didn't even try to hide it. Like the way he was reading it, you knew it was AI. Like you can look at text and generally you can tell if it's AI or not, right? You can generally tell if what you're listening to or reading is AI. And so the thing is like the one guy, it's like, couldn't he at least finesse it a little bit? Like, okay, let me see if I can finesse it. I'm gonna be like, okay, what is the? Tell me, can you explain some of the differences between TypeScript? So I had another idea that I wanted to do. I wanted to try TypeScript and JavaScript. Okay, so can you tell me some of the differences between TypeScript and JavaScript? Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, TypeScript is a type system, right? It's statically typed. It's like a statically typed superset of JavaScript. Basically, it allows you to define variables, whereas JavaScript, you can define variables, but you don't have to define variables. Also, JavaScript is interpreted directly by the browsers, where TypeScript, it requires a compilation or really a transpilation. So I'm actually cheating a little bit because I'm kind of finessing what I'm seeing on the screen, but I also kind of already know the answers. So let's see. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try this with something that I don't know. Can you explain? See, how do I ask a question that I don't know? Like because I don't know what I don't know. But but I also know things that I don't know. So like, I don't know Java, but I can't think of any Java specific. No, I can't think of anything. I learned the difference between XML and YAML today. Now I feel smart. Well, I mean, they're both just formatting, the ways to format data. They're both just schemas. And actually, a superset, would it be a superset or a subset? It would be a superset. Actually, it wouldn't even be a superset. It wouldn't be a set of. Basically, an alternative of JSON that I've been using for maybe about a month now. I guess I kind of stumbled upon it a month or two ago, is human readable JSON, which I really like, because if you have normal JSON, right, you might have like username and then not sure, right? And then you might have user ID 1. Okay. Easy enough. But it can be a little cumbersome to have these quotes on everything. So human readable JSON allows you to do simply like username, and I'm not even sure you have to put the value in quotes. You might be able to do this. Right? So this is human readable JSON, where you don't need to, like, the key names. You don't have to put quotes around the key names. I can't remember if you have to put quotes around strings or not. Can you give me some examples of strings defined in human JSON? I can't. I'm curious. Okay, so okay, so here, so like right here, what the UI says is like greeting hello. So yeah, so this actually would be valid human JSON, but it may only be allowed for things like, okay, yeah, as long as they don't contain special characters like spaces or colons, which makes sense, right? So this example would not be valid because there's a space and not sure. You have to put a quote. You have to put it in quotes. There was something. So in my chat program, I loved this idea, and it was one of the reasons that kind of was motivating me to work on the chat program more. Was because how I wanted to do addresses. Because one of the challenges, because so again, let's go back to the chat program for a minute, and then we are going to program. I promise. But the chat program, the idea being, it's all around message boards. It's all around message boards because message boards are the future. So, but my friend Joe, may he rest in peace, he passed away, but he had his message board, JUOT.net. Now it's JUOT.org because I took it over after he passed away. But when he was still alive, there were a lot of users on his message board and on my message board that were on both, right? And they were like crossover. And so a long time ago, I wrote a bridge for posts on the message board so that there was a shared forum. So I could post on the forum on my board, and those posts would be sent to his board, and then vice versa. And it was just a way for the users to kind of communicate to participate in the same forum while staying on their same boards. And so the chat program was a very similar idea, right? It was users could have this chat client that they sign on to on his message board or my message board. However, you would be able to send messages. So I would sign on, it basically like Discord, right? But I would, when Discord asks me for my login name, this program, Kekbo is what I called it, what I wanted to call it, it would ask you for your login name, and it would also ask you for the board, right? So you would type something like like it would ask you like username and then password. I'll make this a little bit bigger. Whoa, that's really big. But it would ask you for the username, password, and then maybe server or something. It would have something better, some better, naming or whatever it is. But it doesn't matter right now. So you would kind of just say max power because that's the name I always use a lot. And then you would put your password in, and then you would put in like amb.dog, right? That's my board. amb.dog, or if you were going to sign on the Joe's board, you put in jote.org, right? But the one thing that I like coming up with schemas. That's something I enjoy coming up with schemas, how things are going to communicate, designing like the language that they're going to communicate in. And so one of the challenges was, okay, if I wanted to send a message, so let's say I wanted to do a new message, right? And then the new message is going to ask for the to user. Who are you sending it to? And then, of course, it would ask you for the message itself. Think back to like Discord messages. Think back to like AOL Instant Messenger. And then you type in the message like, you suck, right? Now, let's say that I am on, let's just say that I am signed in on Joe's message board. And I want to send a message to Max Power on my message board. So remember, my message board is amb.dog. And Joe's is juot.org. So the obvious way would just to do something like max power at amb.dog. amb.dog. But there's a little problem with this, and the problem is the space. And because a lot of it makes it awkward. So you could say, okay, well, if it's space, put it in quotes. I personally find that even more awkward, but it also is complicated by the fact that in this message board software, and in most message board software, I don't know if I should say most, but in a lot of message board softwares, I can do this. Let me show you. Create new user. Username is going to be Max T Power, and we're just going to make up some email. And then, of course, my favorite password. And then, but you see here, I put a quote. Now let's see if it accepts it. And it accepted it just fine. So the quote is part of the user. So what happens if the quote's in the username? So I was like, okay, well, how do you solve this? And for whatever reason, I really liked this idea. I like the idea of surrounding the username in brackets. And then the rules become very simple because you can also have, let's create another new user. Create user, max bracket T power. Now, I'm pretty sure this will also be allowed. Gmail. Okay. Yep. So, but the rules become very simple, right? Because what I can do here is I can say, okay, if the first character is a bracket and then the last character or the first character before the @ symbol is a bracket, assume that it's in closed brackets. And then but then what happens if your username is literally the bracket max power? Well, then you would have to surround it like this. And then the rules would still apply. But anyway, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's pretty straightforward. But I liked the way the brackets look. And like it's something I kind of wish that like more websites would do, or more maybe even like with email addresses. But because like I'm thinking now, does parentheses, do I like parentheses or do I like bracket? A lot of it, literally a lot of it just comes down to visual aesthetics. Like what actually looks more pleasing to me from just like looking at it on the screen. And looking at it, like I think by itself, I like the way parentheses look better. However, when you put the @ symbol after it, I like the way the brackets look better. So anyway, that was I don't know how we got on that topic. So let me see. Let's create I just want to create another new user. So if I do bracket max power, and then of course password will be password. And yeah, that's allowed too. So but you need some type of way to enclose the usernames, because also another problem is that the idea of this chat system would be it's not necessarily tied to a message board software as much as it's tied to a server. And my idea was, okay, but you could have you would download your package, you would upload it to your server, and you would configure it, and you would have like a user database configuration. And so to give you an idea what I mean, so again, assume that this is like some chat program and you want to configure it, you want to host it on your message board or your server or whatever it is. And you're saying, okay, well, how do when people download the client, because the client's going to be usable for any server, when people enter in my server name, how do I want my server to say, okay, this is a valid user, this is not a valid user? Where do I want my server to look at that data? And so that naturally lends itself to some type of plugin system, right? And so my idea, you could have various different types. You could have, well, I guess you could say various authentication models. You could have it as simple as a text file, right? You could have it as like max power password. You store all the users in a text file, and so you have a user authentication plugin that basically just looks at that text file and gets the credentials from the text file, right? It's very, very simple. Of course, you probably wouldn't want to do that because it's not safe, but you get the point. But you could also have an authentication model that uses a Xenforo database. So it would look at the you would point it to the configuration file of like your username and password and server information for your database, and it would say, okay, well, basically the configuration of the chat program I'm getting mixed up. The configuration of the server side of the chat program would have all kinds of different things like user auth method, right? And I just described a text file, so it could be like text file, or it could be plain text. You would define them, but then another one would be Xenforo and things like that. So I like and now just talking about this, I kind of want to work on the goddamn chat program. This is my problem. I can't fixate on one thing. Like I'm talking about this and I'm like getting excited about it. And I'm like, oh, I want to work on this. I want to work on this again. Like, no, stay focused. And why can't I unzoom? Thank you. Oh my God. How far can you, how far can I zoom in? Whoa. Okay, where is 100%? Just tell me 100%. That looks about right. Where's zoom? Is there no zoom? Appearance. Zoom. Reset zoom. There we go. Okay. Whoa, that's way too small. Jesus Christ, I'm not 19. I don't have eyes like young Razman over here. Get out of here, kids. So anyway, so that is no, I tried Control 0. Control 0 didn't work. Apparently, you have to do Control. Whoop! Now I'm doing it in Chrome. It's Control 0, but here in Visual Studio Code, this is Control 0. I'm doing Control 0. It doesn't work, but Control Numpad 0 is apparently what you need to do in Visual Studio Code. It specifically has to be Number Pad 0. So that's a tip, kids. Don't forget it. I'm getting angry at myself. I'm getting angry at myself because I really want to work on the chat program. Oh, there's some. Okay. Markup language is not good for data serialization. Generally not, especially if you're talking about efficiency. Like if you're serializing, well, I would say it depends actually. It depends on the use case. I would say for like 80, I would say for 80% of use cases, you probably want to use some compressed, and I don't mean like zipped or like a tard or anything, but like some type of compressed markup, right? So there's various different ways where like you could just have a simple like, okay, I'm going to define my markup as the length will be 2 bytes. So I'm getting all confused, but we'll do it in hex, right? So maybe 0007. And then you know now the next 7 characters after that are the value. Like that's like a very basic way to do it. But that's like binary serialization, right? And then markups, of course, are like ASCII-based serialization. And I would say that there are some times when you would want an ASCII type serialization, which I would consider a markup more or less. And I'm trying to think of when. I think actually a good place you might want that is if the data has more than one use case. So in terms of like, if you're writing data for one specific application, then probably a binary serialization schema is a good way to go because that's the only consumer. That would be if that application is the only consumer of the data. But if you have multiple tools that might, like if you have some data that's like write once, read often by many different things, in that case, you might want to serialize to something like JSON or whatever makes sense, probably JSON, because in that case, it's a lot easier to take the data and manipulate it with other tools. Like if you think like in the data science world, right? In the data science world, they're going to be taking data in, reading it, transforming, like there's like a million different processes that are going to look at the same data. So having it be in binary, it makes it complicated. It's not impossible, but it's complicated. It's easier when it's an ASCII-based markup as well for doing development, because then you can kind of create your own very easily. Like it's a lot easier for me to just sit here and type out mock data as opposed to like, okay, now I have to write a program that is going to write mock data to the specified format, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I think that markup languages, I think they do have their time and place for serialization. I do. Treat as a string. Sanitize your inputs. Yes, you should always sanitize your inputs, kids. That's what that's what she said. Instead of a file, take a non-relation database. I'm not sure of the context. Mongo could be it. I've been using, for work again, we were looking at I was looking at Janus. A Janus DB, which is a relational database. So actually, no, it's a graph database. Sorry, not a graph database. It's a graph database that has relations. But a graph database with relations is not the same as a relational database. It's very bizarre. But but for a while, like a year ago, I was really into like graph databases because we were doing something around like relating data items together. And for a minute there, I was looking for like a relational, I keep saying relational. I was looking for a graph database that I could basically, that had a C++ API, and I couldn't find a good one. I found a couple, but it was like the database, it was actually like written in Java, and there was a C++ wrapper, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Why would you ever do that? Never mix your languages. Keep C++ pure, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm a C++ supremacist. I'm sorry. I admit it. But but I did find this one database, and I don't want to get too much into the nature of my day job, but the database that I really liked and that I started playing around with and that it worked really well, it was open source and it was free. It was open source and it was free, and it was maintained by a company. It was maintained by a company in China. So we couldn't use it. I've worked with Not Sure says, let's do Pastelock. Yes, let's do Pastelock. I've worked with embedded systems, and they needed binary encoding for the performance. Absolutely. Binary. And I think that's what I even said. But because the more compact it is, because the things like JSON, they need parsing, right? In order for a computer to understand the data, it's going to have to parse the JSON. But even for them to understand binary data, they're going to have to parse the binary markup. But it's a lot quicker. It's a lot faster for a computer to do it binary, because when it reads those 2 bytes, that's it. It knows, oh, those 2 bytes say 7. Boom, the next 7 bytes are data. So yeah, performance. Even in my day job, like there are like our proprietary database that we use sometimes. It's binary, and of course. I mean, I will say I don't know this. Is Parquet? Give me an okay. Let me see. Let's ask Gemini. Because I don't know the answer to this. Are Parquet files binary or ASCII based? I'm not sure. Okay, so Parquet is a binary format. Okay. Parquet stores data in a binary format, which means the data is represented in a way that is optimized for machine processing rather than human readability. Yes, thank you. Okay, Pastelock. You guys ready? You want to play a game of chess first? No. Okay. So we know what we're doing, right? We know what we're doing. We are going to disallow Control-V. So, somebody responded. I've been awarded my first trophy. First message. Wow. Okay. What I want to do, by the way, if you have a chance, one of these days to roast my GitHub, rate me how I'm doing, and give me some advice, I will appreciate it. Send me a link. I'll look at it right now. We can look at it. Send me a link. I'm happy to look at it. I would love to do a code review. Okay. Although I don't think you can post, if you want to just post your username, your GitHub username into the chat, I can take a look. I can fill in the rest with just GitHub. Am I on a delay? Let me see if I'm on a delay. I thought I got rid of the delay. No, I'm not on a delay. All right, good. Ugh. Oh God. Okay, I'm going to stand up and stretch for a minute. Oh, I've been sitting for 90 minutes. Oh my God. Oh. I'm going to turn the light on, guys. I got to turn the light on. Oh. But I don't think I got some bad news. I don't think I'm going to drink. I just don't think I'm going to. Does the light work? There we go. I don't think I'm going to drink. I think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to have the wine, but I am thinking about being really, really crazy. I allow myself. You see these beautiful things? I allow myself 3 of these a day. I would drink more if I could. I mean, I can, but every action has a consequence. Everything you do has a price. And you saw my crack. Whoops. Why did you have to point that out? Why did you have to point that out? Jeez, Rise, man, come on. Don't say the obvious. God. Did you really? What, did you really? No, you didn't. You're making that up. I don't think you did. No, but what I was saying is, so I allow myself 3 Diet Mountain Dews a day, because I shouldn't be drinking any, honestly. Since it's a Friday, I am seriously considering having another one. Like, really, really getting crazy with it. Like, just like going hog wild and having a 4th Diet Mountain Dew. I'm going to think about it because I'm not a young man. Let's we'll get the pace lock. We're going to do some programming, but I want to take a look at at Rosman's GitHub. Let's take a look here. All right, you got a cute. Let's see what we got. Is there any specific repository you want me to look at? So the game is not complete. Okay. Looks like the game is not complete, is getting some updates or getting some action. So what do we have here? We have, packages. My dog's outside. I assume my wife let him outside. Asset, okay, a bunch of assets. So what is this? I'm trying to get my bearings straight. Okay, .meta, towers, UI toolkit, test scenes. So this is all Unity. So I should be asking Razman I should be asking him some questions about Unity. It looks like it's Unity at least. Let's do this. I want to get a better lay of the land, a better idea what I'm looking at. All right, let's see how. Come on. I don't know. It's asking me if I trust the author. Oof. I don't know, man. I know how those Mexicans are. No, that's a joke. I am pseudo-Mexican. I am allowed to make that joke. Before you try to cancel me, it was a joke, okay? I am Latino. I am allowed to make such jokes. So just calm down. All right, I'm trying to find some code to this. Code, let's see, Unity editor. All right, finally I found some code. Let's see. The difficult thing about Unity, like trying to code review Unity is, one, I'm not a Unity expert. But 2, there's like no main entry point. I mean, there is a main entry point, but Unity kind of obfuscates. Unity kind of masks that main entry point. So it's not like you have a main function in Unity. But we can take a look at some of these things. Let's see. Let's take a look at tower. So we got, okay, abstract boundary behave, serialized field. So nothing really jumps out. What is this doing? Enemy controller, get closest enemy. If enemies in range dot count equals 0, Float closest attack rank for each enemy in float distance vector distance. If distance is less than. So one thing, well, first of all, okay, so you have to iterate every enemy in range because one might be closer. I guess that makes sense. Okay, closest distance equal, yeah, closest enemy equals. I would, what is enemies in range? Is that like a vector or it's a hash set? So I'm not familiar enough with what a hash set is. I guess there's no way. Enemy controller. Because what I'm one thing I don't know if there's a way to optimize this because I'm not super familiar with what the hash set is, but one thing that kind of jumps out here is you're doing 2 assignments to kind of figure out the same thing. And I understand why you're doing it. It makes sense. But one thing you might consider optimizing if you can, and again, I don't know if you can, but one thing you might consider optimizing is trying to figure out a way to get this down to 1 assignment. Each assignment is going to take clock cycles, and you really only need one thing, right? Though, okay. So here's another thing. I don't know how this works. What is enemy? Enemy is closest enemy controller. Now, it's been a long time since I've done any type of serious C# programming. So I am assuming that this is some type of reference assignment and not a copy. I would check on that. I don't know how it works in C# offhand. I don't know. Actually, maybe I can ask. Is this a copy or some type of reference assignment? Let's see what AI says. Because if it's a copy, that's really expensive. That's going to be really expensive. This is a reference assignment, not a copy. Okay, so you're fine. You're probably fine. Then you're probably fine. Okay. So as a C++ programmer, this would jump out at me because this in C++, if it's not a primitive type, you're like, oh God, it's not a primitive type and it's not a pointer and you can't reassign references. So it has to be a copy. And if it's a copy, like, oh God, most of my work is under scripts/UI. Yeah, I think I found it. Okay, let's look under scripts. Okay, let's see. Game UI. Minimap. Man, you've got a mini map and everything. Yeah. Let's look at minimap, the minimap controller. On enable. UI minimap controller, root visual mini container, debug. Okay. Initialize core dot. Looks good. Now again, I am not going to I'm not going to be the best person to review this. I'm just going off of my, like, what I remember from my C# days and also my general knowledge about programming and code optimization. But I am not 100% sure how much my knowledge of code optimization is actually going to apply to C#. But maybe some of it will. If core minimap remove update. All right. If core not equal null and core not equal null. All right. So again, this is a, oh wait, no, you couldn't do that. I was going to say in C++, sometimes in C++ you'll see code like this, and let's just say there was nothing after it. Actually, no, what I was going to say is not true, so never mind. Okay, let's see. Position flow. Okay. I mean, like I said, nothing here looks terrible. Enemy objects gain find. Oh, interesting. Again, I'm assuming there's no copy here. Var enemy. There was a neat thing I read. So here, because you're doing the correct thing here, it looks like. Okay, enemies clear. add. Okay. Let me back up. Couple things here. And this is not a complaint about your code. This is a complaint about C# or what I have seen in Unity in general. And that is that normally in C++, like C++ practices, and like if I was reviewing your C++ code and I saw member elements that were named like this, I would reject it so fast. I would probably assault you. I would probably like lose my job because I would probably punch you, because normally you'll see something like this, right? And again, this is not you, Razman. I've noticed this with me I was doing some game programming last night, and it was annoying me last night that Unity names all its variables like you have here. So the thing that annoys me, and this is just a little thing. It's not a little thing to me, but it's not like a programming. But anyway, so I look at this and I'm like, I don't immediately know if it's a member variable or a local variable. And that bothers me, because I should be able to, because if this variable was named with an underscore, like you would see in a lot of like C++ repos, and I used to do it in, I'm pretty sure I used to do it in my C# repo, in my C# code as well. Actually, let me look, because I have, it was Robo Dodge, wasn't it? What was it? Robo Dodge? Yeah. So let me look here. I just want to make sure that I'm not telling you to do something I didn't do myself. This code's like 15 years old. So, physics helper. Okay. That's a static variable that doesn't count. That's a small one. Let's just see content. Oh my God! Do I not have member variables in any of these things? Come on! Oh my God! Apparently I don't. NPC path. What? Okay. Perfect. Okay, good. See right here? So I have this class attack state, and all the member variables, I have them beginning with an underscore. It's a very simple thing, but it helps you when you're looking at your code, because if you look down at like this function here, like I can see right away fire timer is a member variable. Whereas in the code here, it's not immediately apparent, and that bothers me. But I mean, I'm not exactly sure what this code's doing, but that's just because I'm that's my ignorance. It's not a statement on your code. While enemy dots is greater than count. Enemies count, fair dot, enemy dots. Sync enemy dots, is that called an update? It is called an update. I would enemy dots. I would probably get rid of this dot variable, but again, that's a C++ optimization. So I don't know how applicable it is to C#. So in C++, this is creating a new variable. It's copying this data. And then I would hope it would be passed by reference to the function. But the creating of the new variable, that's time. You're kind of, depending on how C# works, you might be creating a copy here, and you might even be creating a copy here in the call to remove. I honestly don't know. Let's ask. How is dot passed? By value or by reference? If it's passed by reference, then we're okay. Come on. And C#, the way dot is passed in the line depends on what type dot is. Well, dot is a enemy var, but that's a field. It's let's see. If dot is a reference class type, the reference of the object is passed by value. This means the method receives a copy. If dot is a value type, struct, int, etc., class inst, enemy dots. Okay, so well, I'm not sure. Dot is this. Now, do you know? Let's see. No results. Please refine your input. Oh, come on. Let's try it again. Now this is making me want to program in C#, which of course is the Unity game. So we're trying to work on paste lock. Okay, and C# dot is passed by reference. Okay, that's good. Okay, so you're fine. You're fine. But that's something that, and maybe you are conscious of this already. I don't know. But when you're talking about things that are happening inside the update method, and I don't know if Unity has a draw method. I assume it does. Maybe it doesn't. I honestly don't know. But when you're talking about things that are happening like every frame, you have to be very conscious of how you're moving data from, and I'm talking about like from variable to variable, right? So like here, is this a copy? Is this a copy? Or a reference? Again, this is because I don't know C#, so I don't know these answers offhand, which is why I'm asking the AI. But you need to be very conscious of if you're making copies of okay, this is a reference, not a copy. Okay, so just be conscious of whether or not you're passing whether you're creating a copy or a reference, because copies are going to be more expensive. And when you start talking about doing things in the update and you're making more and more copies in the update method, that's going to hurt performance. And obviously, since it's a game, you need to be very conscious of performance. And that's kind of that's what I'm looking at here. So these things that, because the work I do, it's not game programming, but it's very performance heavy. It's very performance critical. And so like my mind is very attuned to like, oh my God, are you making a copy? Oh my God, are you allocating more memory? Oh my God. Like you have to pay attention to these things. Like here, like this, I would, if this is happening in the update and you're just doing like a raw dog new call in an update method in C++, I'm yelling at you. I'm probably burning you. I'm like hurting you physically because I'm like, why do you hate me? Like, why are you insulting my family by calling new inside of a loop that is inside of an update statement? Like I would get angry. In C#, I don't know. Like, I mean, this jumps out to me. Enemy dot. Okay, so while enemy dots dot count is less than enemies count. I don't know what enemy dots is, but it's okay. So it looks like you're filling this up until you get to enemies count. Visual dot style. Okay, so this is just setting. Okay, so this is just like. This is like just creating a new visual element within the minimap, I'm guessing. Minimap container dot add enemies dot. So what is enemies dot doing? Let's see if we can figure that out. Visual element. Oh, okay, enemy dots. Duh. Okay, so I'm guessing enemies count is enemies some type of. Let's transform. I'm guessing that the enemies variable comes from some other class. Like it's the number of, like, I'm guessing this. Okay, we're talking about a map. So enemies must be the general number of enemies you're fighting or that are chasing you or whatever. But the number of, this is a collection of the enemies on the map. And then you need dots to represent them, which makes sense. And so you have to add the dot to the minimap container. Okay, so it's the visual element. So you're drawing it on the map, essentially, I guess. Position absolute. But I don't understand enemy dots dot add. I'm not sure why you need this enemy dots container. Okay, well, no, it's the visual elements. This feels redundant to me. Now, again, this is part of my ignorance of your code because I'm just now looking at this code for the first time, and also part of my ignorance of C#. But this design feels a little redundant, maybe. The fact that you're calling new, I'm pretty sure even in C#, that might sync enemy dots. So I guess the point here is if enemy dots count is less than okay. So if you have less enemies on the mini map than actually exist on the board, then you need to draw new dots on the mini map. That makes sense. But this still feels like there should be a way to use this collection to do that, this enemies collection. I feel like you could get rid of this enemies dot. I don't know how, and I might be wrong, but I feel like you could get rid of it. For I equals 0, I is less than enemies dot, I plus plus. So what is this doing? This is... Okay, I guess this is just setting the actual... This is setting the actual position? Okay, I guess that makes sense. So if there are more dots than there are enemies, you have to remove the excess ones. If there are not enough dots, you have to draw the new ones. And then this is just looks like it's just syncing the positions. So that all makes sense. Razman says, if you go to scripts health bar, you will find my intent to do member variables. You can open the game Unity and see the mini map and how it works. This looks like you've done quite a lot of work. You've definitely done more work than I've done in my game. I should get you to help me with my game. Damn. Let's see. All right. I'm going to look at health bar, and then we're going to work on pace lock. I swear to you, not sure. We are going to do this. We're going to do it. Okay. Just give me some time. Was it health bar? Scripts health bar. So there's enemy health. I don't see a health bar. Well, let's look at scripts. Scripts. Oh, wait, health bar. Here we go. Health bar progress. Oh, wait, health bar. Oh, that's health bar meta. Okay, let's look at health bar. Oh, look. Oh, we got the dashes. Very nice. We got the underlines, not dashes, underlines. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Update progress bar. Invoke repeating. Is that every... I thought I had like the Unity plugin for Visual Studio Code installed so I could maybe look at what invoke repeating does. Let's look. Unity, C#, invoke repeating. Repeat every n seconds. Really? You're doing that. Is it 50? $50 times a second? You're updating this? Is that right? Is my math right? I feel like an idiot that I can't. Because this would be 1 second. That would be twice. Yeah, this is 50 times a second. That seems like a lot. But anyway, so this now becomes the update method, essentially. Update progress, change color dynamically. Yeah, there was a guy I used to work with, and I hated his pull requests sometimes because if he was just editing one file, his pull request would have like 10 files modified. There would be the one file that he modified, and then there would be 9 files where he corrected spelling errors. It was obnoxious. It was obnoxious. And yes, they are spelling errors and they need to be fixed, but still, really? Really? Nothing really jumps out here. If progress not equal null. If it's not. If okay. No, that looks fine. That looks fine. I was going to say something, but it's actually not applicable. Color equals blur. Progress fill style background equals the new color. If progress is greater than 99.5%, progress equals 0. Really? Okay. I don't know why. Must be something I'm missing. That seems weird. Gain. Let's see what else we can. Okay, let's look at one more file. This is fun. I like this. Man, you've done a lot of work on this. This is awesome, dude. This is great. I might have to put this in Unity and look it up. I'm trying to figure out what I want to look at though. I want to look at something interesting. Not that any of it's not interesting. All of it's interesting. But I want to look at something that's interesting. Let's see. Towers. Basic tower. Oh, that's not interesting. Okay, but you're using inheritance and stuff. So let's look at your like inheritance. Or is this you? S. Dunphy? Oh. Are you collaborating with somebody, or is this a project that you forked? Oh, you got me over here praising your code, but is this Dunphy's code? Wait a minute. I smell some shenanigans going on. No. Oh, it looks like a few guys are working on this. I'm sorry. A few guys and gals. It looks like there's a few people working on this. I'm sorry. I'm old. I'll make those mistakes. Let me try and be respectful. It looks. Oh, okay. I see. Merge the. Okay, so this is the fork of a game. This is the fork of somebody of a. No, wait. What am I looking at? Oh, this is okay. I left your brand. I left your repo. I didn't even realize it. Okay, let's go back to your repo. I want to go back to your repo. How do I get back to your repo? Okay, so that looks like a project that you are contributing to. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let me see if I can find something else. It looks like you've been working on that a lot, which is cool. That's good. That's a great way to learn. And I mean, once I actually have something that is like usable and something that actually makes sense, it would be great to have you like help me out too. You have a pro account? What is that? Label pro. What does mine say? Does mine even? I don't. Does mine say pro? Why don't I? Wait. Where did you get the pro? Where was that? That was right here under highlights. Why don't I have a pro? I don't even have a highlights. Why don't I have highlights? I have achievements. I have organizations, but I don't have highlights. That's not fair. No, I'm looking over here. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that says highlights. Life's not fair, man. Life's cruel. Is now only my work is also it's not only I'm guessing you said it's not only my work, it's also 2 other classmates. The Telegram API with a student account, I can have pro for free. Oh. Uh-huh. I see how it is. Okay, so the Telegram API, this is Java, which I hate it. I hate Java. But let's look at it anyway. But I like there's a there is a project at my day job where I volunteered. So again, like I volunteered. I was like, we need to get this done. And this is something that could probably be done by like a mid-level engineer. And I was like, given my general programming experience, I'm sure that I could probably program on par with a mid-level engineer in Java. So I was like, I can give it a shot. I was like, I'm going to need some guidance because it's Java, and I'm going to need overall general guidance about how things are laid out and like things like that. But the logic and the syntax I can handle, but I might need somebody to like kind of check me on like, Java best practices and stuff like that. And so I'm probably going to get stuck with that because I was like, yeah, no, I can do it. I'm trying to be like a team player. Yeah, I can do it. This is one thing I can't. This is one thing I hate about Java. Or not Java. I hate about any language that does this, and a few languages do this, including Go, where this is a syntax error. Though I think Not Sure told me it's actually not a syntax error. It's a compiler option that you can override. But when you see bracket on the same line, I want to get violent. I want to commit a crime against the person who wrote that. I cannot stand a bracket on the new line. It is a crime against humanity. Let's move on. Okay, so this is a Telegram weather bot. It looks like Telegram weather. There's a Telegram weather, API. Interesting. All right, so this is the main entry point. Okay, the Canadian zip codes. Hey, wait, I can figure out where you live. Whoa, Toronto, very nice. I should have messaged you. I should have let you know when I was in Montreal. We could have met up. Montreal, Toronto, they're right next to each other. Potato, they're right there. Google Client. What do we got? Okay, so this is just basic setup. Okay. Some of this stuff then again, but I don't. I was going to say some of this stuff I would pull out and put into this class, but it's Java, so I don't know. I don't know if you do that. If it was C++, stuff like this, I know it's hard coded, and I would imagine like eventually you're going to want it to be variable. So maybe it makes sense to have it hard coded here. I would probably pull it out and put it in the main class or put it somewhere else that's more visibly defined. But again, it's Java, so I don't know. Print Google API. Print. Okay, so we're just printing out, just doing some stuff. Print the weather. Okay, so this is just the main interface, and it looks like it's just connecting on an API and weather. It's getting the weather. And then it's bots API register bot. Well, I was expecting it to like send the weather to the client, but I don't see that happening. Wait a minute. Let's do this. This is going to be a lot easier if I just do this. Git clone. All right. All right, let me check some messages over here. I got like people. I'm a popular man. I'm so popular. Spring cleaning. All right, just doing a response. Okay, let's take a look at this, and then we're gonna get started on paste lock. I swear we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm just curious about this. Okay. This is another thing that I can't stand about Java. And maybe because I don't understand it. I don't understand. But why does Java have this /com/ and like, okay, this isn't too bad, but normally like in other projects I've seen, it's like /com/x/a/foo/cal/star/Janus /Saturn/Java/Janus/window, and then there's one file. Like what? Why? Like what is why are there why? Just tell me why. Like, oh, it's horrible. All right. So then, okay. So these are member variables, map private default string map. Schedule nightly weather updates. Prepare. Update received. Okay, so this apparently is when Java roast. Oh God, Java. Oh. Okay, so you receive a message. If update has message and update get message has text. This is good because I would imagine if you checked, do you know what would, well, again, this is Java, so I don't know, but in C++, something order matters, right? Order matters in and statements and order matters in or statements, because it's possible that if you tried to get the message to see if it had text before you even saw if the message exists, you get a big old crash. So that's good. You got the order right. So you get them. I don't like this. I don't like how you're calling get message twice, but I don't know what the resolution in Java is. So in C++, I'm just going to fix this. In C++, you could do something like this. You can do, I'll make this a little bit bigger for you. Whoop. Not that big. Let's be realistic here. So in C++, you could do something like if, how do I want to do this? Well, I'll just do it. I mean, you could do if auto message and message has text. So, and then blah, 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 blah. So what I did here, now I don't know if this is valid. I don't know if this would work or whatever, but this is what basically what I'm getting at is I'm avoiding calling get message twice. You're calling it twice. Update.get message and update.get message, which I'm not a big fan of, but again, I don't know that there's any way to, well, there is a way you could avoid it in Java. You could do now, but again, I don't know if this makes sense. You could do something like if update has message, then you do message. I'm gonna message update get message. And what I would do personally is if not message has text, return. I would do something like that because you're only calling get message once here. And I also, I try to, when it makes sense, it's now in C++, there is an optimization argument to be made about whether or not you have your entire block in an if statement or whether or not you reverse the if statement and just return. Sometimes it's better to do one, sometimes it's better to do the other. But of course, that's C++. I don't know about Java, but I would generally lean towards doing something like this, where, and also just for kind of readability, right? Well, there's two arguments actually, and I'm kind of arguing against myself because for readability's sake, I think it's easier to read a more flat flow of code. But you could make an argument that it's less easier to read because what you have has a single entry point and a single exit point, which is good, but sometimes that can harm performance. Whereas this method, this is more performant. And I would also argue, yes, yours might be slightly easier to read because of the single entry and single exit point. But I would say that the way I'm doing it is probably 90% as easy to read as yours, right? Yours might be 10% easier to read. So I wouldn't say it's a huge I would say it's not a huge difference. But anyway, but what I'm getting at is, so you would just return early if it doesn't have text, and then you would have all your other logic down here, right? Like, I mean, the AI is picking up what I'm trying to do. But anyway, so that's one thing to consider. So get chat ID. So you get the text. Put if absent, default zip. Oh, that's neat. Is this a built-in? Wait, what is user zip code? User zip code is, oh, it's a map. Okay, so that's just saying, put if absent. Ugh. 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 Brother, ugh. Like, why couldn't you just do... Oh, I see. Okay. All right, maybe that's not so bad. Maybe that is handy. Maybe that is handy. Because in C++, you would probably have to do something... Well, you'd have to test it first. No. There is one neat thing that I've been seeing in TypeScript was, and I think Java might have it too, where I think it was something, how did it work? If variable... I can't remember what it was. Now I can't even remember what it did, but it was really neat, and it had 2 question marks. Something about 2 question marks in TypeScript. Let me. I think it was 2 question marks. What does 2 question marks in TypeScript? What does 2 double question marks in TypeScript? Yeah, this. Oh, okay. So this is. I think this is a null, like if null kind of thing. The gist of this is equivalent to, yeah, this is an easy way of saying that deal type equals current deal if current deal is not null, otherwise it equals original deal type. It's a quick way of, like, you often have it's a very common pattern where you're like, if not null equal this, then this, and so it's just the shorthand of 2 question marks. I feel like Java has that too, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the put if absent reminded me of that. It's kind of like it's not opposite. It's like it's related somehow. Just bear with me. Okay, awaiting get default. Okay. If awaiting zip code, check if we are awaiting the zip code input. Not sure I understand that, but if is zip code. Curious to see your if zip. Oh, you're using regex. Ah. Well, I mean, I guess that's not bad. You are some. Oh, Mexican postal codes are numeric, like you know, the country of freedom, like Freedom USA. Nice. All right. All right. All right. We'll look at this more. We'll look at this more on Monday. Actually, I don't think I'm going to stream on Monday. I think I'm going to stream on Sunday. Because Monday's my birthday. My daughter's going to be here. But right now, I am going to at least write 1 line of code for paste lock, because if I don't, Not Sure is going to hurt me. He's going to kill me if I don't do this. So I'm going to write at least 1 line. Okay? It's getting late. I'm getting tired. I think I might actually. I'll be right back. Just trust me. I'm gonna play an old video of mine while I'm gone for. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna use the new. I'm gonna use this new break. I'm gonna do a 3-minute break. I'll be right back. All right. I am back. So did the break thing, I unmuted myself, but did it work? Like Razman, did you see a commercial or something or what? I'm so curious to know what it does. Actually, I should have just looked at the stream myself to see what it's doing. I ran downstairs. I was thinking, like, am I going to have another soda? And I decided not to. So I'm not having wine. I'm not having another soda. Oh, I'm so old. I really am. I mean, like, because I go downstairs. My wife's watching TV, and she's like, "Are you still streaming?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Aren't you tired?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you want to go to bed?" And I said, "Yeah." So, but she's watching some show, and she's like, "All right, we'll go to bed when I'm done." So, it all depends on when her show's over. All right. So, we have to look at this. We already created the plugin. So we have to figure out where the data lives. Add-ons, here it is. Add-ons, and then LOLs app, and then it's here. So I should just, can I set this as my folder? I don't think I can. All right. Enough of Razman's code. We've been looking at Razman's code all night. We don't need to look at it anymore. We'll look at it some more on Sunday. We will. It'll be great. All right, so we'll go into source, add-ons, LOLs apps, and then Pastelock. I'm going to dedicate Pastelock to Not Sure. Not Sure says finally. After 2 hours of streaming. Wait, what am I looking at? What the hell is this? Why is Visual Studio Code loading up? This is literally sun cycle. This is code from my Unity game to simulate day and night cycles. All right. Okay. So what I need to figure out, I remember how to do this, kind of. I need to set up developer mode. I know that. I'm sorry for eating, guys. I'm sorry. I was hungry. I ran downstairs. My wife made some chicken with vegetables and rice. It's really good. And I was like, I want the rest of that. So that's what I did. So I think there's a config file that I need to set developer mode or full Unicode. Let me see. Xenforo developer mode. Code reviews are great, says Not Sure. It's funny you're making this code. Pastelock is something that I hate so much. Oh, you mean on websites where you can't paste? Yes, I hate it too. Especially like on like banking websites. Like enter the account number for the bill you want to pay. Now enter it again, and it won't let you copy and paste. And it's like, why? Like, is that like what idiot told you that makes it more secure? Because it doesn't. It doesn't. All right, developer mode. All right, let me see. Config.options. Here we go. Debug mode is a special state where Xenforo will run debugging or development purposes. That sounds good. Designer mode is an advanced feature for style designers. That's not me. Development. Developer mode is another advanced feature, this time for Xenforo add-on developers. That's us. The enabled setting switches developer mode on and off. All right, so we want that on. I know that much. Oops. The text is really big. I'm going to keep it that way. Okay, so we want this to be true. And The enabled switch, okay, the default add-on setting allows you to specify the ID of an add-on, which will then automatically set the add-on setting for newly created material in the admin control panel to the add-on. What? Okay, so I think the ID for my add-on is... Would it be paste lock? Would it be just lolzap paste lock? Let's see. I think that's what it would be. Okay, default add-on. Oh, let me get this. Oh, there's another extension. I think I might need to install it. Actually, I don't know. Peacock. Yes, Peacock is installed. Surprise me. Okay, green will be, you know what? Green will be the Xenforo folder, and surprise me. No, not green again. No, not green. Orange is good. We're working on orange. We're working. The add-on is in orange. We've got to remember the add-on will be in orange. Okay, add-on orange, paste lock. All right, perfect. Oh, my God. My wife, she just cooked me 3 meals today. And this is like my 4th. It was a little bowl, okay? Just calm down. But I don't know what it is. But food is so much better when somebody else makes it. Go figure. Const paste box, blah, 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 return. Yes, I mean, JavaScript, it cancels the paste event. Yeah, no, I remember looking this up a while back in AI, like how to do it in JavaScript. But the trick here is we don't want to do it for every user, right? So we need to set configuration options. I kind of want to tie it. So Xenforo has this concept of user groups. So groups and permissions. I kind of want to tie it to like, I want to be able to create a user group that's like, or have the add-on, or actually what I think I want is like, so their user group, there's all these permissions. So you would have a permission here that would say something like, you know, under form permissions, maybe it would say, can paste or whatever. So I think what we do is we just start with can paste. Let's start with that. Let's get that working so that there is a can paste permission that we can turn off for certain user groups. Now, that sounds like a lot to do tonight, considering I talked for the first 2.5 hours about other things. If we had worked on it for the whole entire 2.5 hours, we probably could have accomplished it tonight. But considering I'm probably going to bed in 15 minutes, I don't know. Yes, you're going to make a custom script that runs just for that user, more or less. Yes, it's going to have to output the. It's going to be tricky because, I'm not even sure how it's going to work. So I think the first thing we should do is we'll get the we'll get a custom permission. We'll get a permission inside the user group that says can paste or whatever, right? Paste lock on or off or whatever, right? And let's just start there. Let's just start. Whoops, I'm spitting. Let's start there with the user group permission, right? Let's start there because then we'll have the permission, and then whether it's on or off, we can start with whether or not when you go to, we can do something like when you click post reply, maybe it outputs something, whether or not the permission is turned on or off for you. Baby steps. It's all about programming. And I know you two listening know this, but in case you're somebody else listening to this, programming is about incremental progress. Though now in the days of AI, it's about getting things done in 5 minutes, or 5 seconds. But even with that, it's still incremental progress. It's just the increments with AI are going to be a little bit bigger, and the increments are going to come a little bit quicker. But it's still all about incremental progress. Okay, so I'm just going to go down here. I'm going to look for group. All right, let's see. Set interface group. No. Creating some options. We currently display only 5 featured threads per page, but it would be nice to have the option to display more. Creating options is easy, although not essential. We'll first create a new option. We'll first create a new option to that group. Here we go. Okay. In the admin C, let's put this over here. Okay. Easy. All right. Oh, wait, I always forget Windows has this feature where I can just do that. I think that's a lovely feature. I wish Mac had that. Although I just lost my context. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're going to go back over here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, though. All right, I'm going to spend 5 minutes adjusting my windows. Okay, where did I go? Creating some options. Okay. In the admin CP under setup, in the admin CP under setup, okay. Then options, okay. Click the add option group. Got it. Oh, and see, here's the add-on. Okay. We'll just call it Group ID, Demo Portal. Okay, Demo Portal. Group ID. What is Group ID? I don't understand what group. We'll just call the Group ID Demo Portal. Okay, we're going to call it Paste Block 1. Title. Give the title Demo Portal Options. Oh, it's an option group. Okay, so this would actually be Paste Lock. We're just going to call it Paste Lock, right? And then I'm going to put a 1 in it. I'm going to put 1 in it just so we know. Okay, title. Paste lock options. Oh, but these are options. These are like admin options. That's okay. Let's stick with it. Let's go with it. Let's go. I know what these are. Okay, so what this is like you see here. Actually, let me show you a better example of what this is. I'm logging in off screen because you guys do not need to see my secret password, which is password. Okay, so this is one of the boards that I run. And then if you look down here, like, I don't know, these are all custom add-ons. But they all have like their own options, right? Like, enable form action. Like, it doesn't matter what they are. But this is what that is what this text is talking about, because these options here, like some of these are built in, right? Like board active, basic board information. That's stuff that's built into the Xenforo software. But Xenforo has a very rich add-on system, and those add-ons the add-ons themselves can have options. And that's what this configuration here is talking about. Like this add-on is called Giphy, and I probably shouldn't be showing an API key, but yeah. So that's kind of what this is. But that's different than what we want. What we want is we want to be able to add group options, or permissions. Actually, is probably what they're going to call it. And so since I don't like to read. Well, first of all, I've done this tutorial multiple times, so I'm just going to kind of skim through it. Not sure it says, let's vibe code this in 15 minutes. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Let's fucking vibe code the shit out of this. It's getting a little excited there. All right, permissions. Implementing permissions and optimizations. Right now, we are displaying all featured threads in the portal, regardless of whether the visitor has permission to view them or not. This isn't ideal. There may be cases where you want to feature threads from certain restricted forums. Okay, that's not... To do this, we need to change the overfetch. That's not exactly what I'm talking about, though. The final permission-related thing to finish up is to create a new permission to control who can feature and unfeature threads manually. This is what we want. This is what we're looking for. To do this, in the admin CP under development, click permission definitions. Oh, that makes sense. Development. permission definitions. All right. And click add permission. And then there's add interface group. I wonder what interface group is. Add permission. The permission group will be forum. Permission group will be forum. Oh, okay. So that's referring to the permission. Remember the groups I showed earlier? Okay. So, and we do want forum, right? Maybe. I don't know. Do we? Let's see. You know, it's funny. I haven't done any actual. I don't know that I've ever done any coding when I'm on my coding stream. No, that's not true. I did a lot of coding on the Kekbo project. But what this is, let's see. So if I go down to groups and permissions, and I go to user group permissions, registered. So you see these groups here. Like this is the general permissions group. This is the forums permissions, bookmark, conversation. So I think I'll just set it to. I think forum makes sense. It doesn't actually make sense, but that's okay. Permission ID, paste lock. Like as I do this, I'm realizing this is such an esoteric thing to program, and you guys we're going to have to work on the chat program next. We're just going to have to. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this on stream and actually feel good about myself. Permission, paste lock 1, or let's just call it paste lock permission. We can always change it later. Right now, we're just trying to get our bearings straight. Can paste. I think we should create a unique instance of the forum just for this user and create message passing between the main server and the server for this one user. Shut up. Permission type, flag or integer. We want it to be a flag. Interface group. Oh. Okay, well, that's the group I want. But then what is this? What is permission group? I don't understand what permission group is. Display order 1 is fine. Okay, so we can save it. Okay. Click save. Oops, we ran into problems. I bet I know what the problem is. I bet it's not readable. All right, I'm sorry, writable. What? Deprecated. Use of parent and callables is deprecated. That's not the issue. Yeah, I'm thinking the problem is that it does not have permission to write. And what we're going to have to do for that, we're going to have to quit. Yeah, see, this is what was driving me nuts before. All right, not sure in Razman, Sunday night. Do we work on the Unity game? Do we work on Kekbo, or do we work on this? What do we work on? And I'm telling you this. I'm only going to do conversation for the first half hour. That's it. No more, no less. Well, maybe less, but we're only going to do more. Let's randomly make it so his E key not word. That actually is pretty good. Okay, so what I need to do here is I'm going to try starting XMPP as admin. Let's finish this. Look at you just sitting there. Wait, why didn't it stop? Stop. Okay. I'm going to try running this as administrator. Okay. Apache, MySQL. All right. I don't really need the FTP server. Okay. Let's try save now. Mother effer. Forum, permission ID, paste lock. There. Oh, no spaces. Title. Can paste biatch. Flag, interface group, forum. More details may be in the browser console. Oh, come on. Come on. The utility at the top left is XAMPP. Basically, it's like Apache, PHP, all like in like one little thing. It's covered by the baby Yoda. Oh, okay. Here. Whoops, no, not that. This. Okay. Use of parent and callables. What is the use of parent and callables is deprecated in blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure this is a permissions thing, but let's look. Xenforo use of parent and callables. I'm just going to take that. I'm telling you, the problem is that it doesn't have permission to write to the folder. I am super confident of that. I am like very, very confident of that. Look, it's read only. Why would it be read only? Oh wait, no, sharing. Is it sharing or is it security? I can never. Okay, full control. This is what I want. Advanced. I should have full control. Modified. Yeah, yeah. Sharing. No, not sharing. Attributes. Why? Yes. All right. I have no idea. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. I don't quite understand why read only was checked. That doesn't seem right. That seems weird. But let's see if that fixes the issue. If we can get back to where we were. Nope. Forum, permission ID, title, interface group. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Eventable file system. All right, let's just look at the file. Green was the actual thing. Eventable file system. What line number did the console say? The line number is line 431. I just want to see what's happening. I bet it's like opening a file or something like that. It's probably something simple. 431. Oh. Oh, well, wait a minute. Use of parent and callables is deprecated. All right, I'm going to try something crazy. I'm simply going to do this. I wonder if that's because Xenforo, I think, is technically written for like PHP 7 and this is using PHP 8. I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure that it's using a version ahead, but things are usually backwards compatible. But okay, let's just see. Forum. Interface group. Come on. Yeah, that just brought a whole other slew of problems. And the thing that's really pissing me off about this, the thing that's really making me angry, is that I know change mod 755. This isn't Linux. Sorry. No, the thing that's really pissing me off about this, that's really making me angry, is that this works fine on my Mac. If I got my Mac right now and did this, it works just fine. But it only works I don't know if I can say that. I was going to say it only works just fine because I had the same problem. I had to fix it. I don't know if that's true. I have seen this problem before. It might have been on my old Windows machine. I'm going to do something because my wife still hasn't come upstairs. Oops. How do I get to the... Is it just that? Okay, cool. I'm going to do something that you guys are not going to like. But I'm going to do it anyway. You're not going to like it. I'm telling you, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. If I could get this to start. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm scared. I'm scared too. No. I'm changing gears. Again, I don't care. You can judge me all you want. I know I'm OCD or ADD or ADHD or whatever it is. I know I'm all those things, and I am. Why was this terminated? HTTP code server driver failed. Program. What? Oh, I know what the issue here is. I know what the issue is. This is an easy fix. I've been telling you all night how I was going to eat. Jesus fucking Christ. I just want to program. I don't want to have to. This is like for my day job for the past 3 days when I was fighting with Trino and I still didn't get the goddamn thing to work. Although I think I know why, but I was like for 3 days, like all I wanted to do was write a line of code. But no, instead I had to fight with configuration or file system permissions or Docker containers, or I had to fight with fucking configuration for like 3 days. And now I wanted to work on paste lock. And no, now I have to fight with fucking configuration again. It's okay. I don't know why this isn't starting. Why? Like, I'm pushing start. Look, it's not your fault. Okay? It's not. You guys didn't do anything. Okay? You didn't do anything. Docker compose up. Is it /D? Why is Mosquito not running? Oh, okay. It still thinks that. Okay. It's an easy fix. I just need to find the Apache process. It's somewhere in here. Somewhere in here. Oh my God. Oh. I remember back in my day, I remember the days when you would look at a task manager and there were like, I would get mad when there would be like 20 processes running. And I'm like, why are there 20 processes running? There should be no need for 20 processes to run. Look at this. This is like 300 processes. This is ridiculous. Okay. Apache is in here somewhere. Let's play. Okay, you know what? You make a good point. We're going to listen to. I appreciate you guys sticking around because I wouldn't have stuck around. I mean, like, yeah, like literally. I told my wife, like, she's like, "Is anybody listening?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm just going to go hang out with my buddies. Somewhere in here, Apache is running, and I don't know where Apache is. It is somewhere in here. I wonder if I can even still get to, yeah, it looks like, maybe not. No. Wait a minute. I think I might have got something wrong here. 9001. Oh, we need to stop that. Now this should start. Yes. Okay. All right, we're making progress. That's good. Kekbo server. If we go to Ubuntu, we did this the other night, but we're going to try it again. I just got to remember where to go. I do love this music. Get process. Go to PowerShell. Get process. Looks way better than the GUI task manager. You should be able to find the process faster. Thank you. Yeah, no, you're right. You're probably. I don't know PowerShell that well. Like I generally work on Windows. I generally work on Mac. And I often want to just kind of do Bash stuff in Windows. And I know I could I'm using WSL and you can kind of do Bash stuff, or you can do you can also Git Bash. Do I have Git Bash installed? Because Git Bash is actually like a really good, it's like a good Bash implementation on top of Windows. WSL is actually like Linux running in Windows, which is slightly different. Whereas Bash is actually like a Bash. Git Bash is like Bash running in Windows, whereas WSL is like Linux running in Windows. So there is a difference. But I'm curious. Do I have Git Bash? Yeah. I don't know if you've ever used Git Bash, but it's like I said, it's like Bash shell for Windows. I think there is a Bash shell for Windows. I've never like the GNU Bash shell for Windows. I've never used it. I don't think I have. Okay. What did I want to look at? I got to go to the README. And then there's like the unicorn command right here. And this was what we were having problems with the other night, but I think we can fix this kind of easily. It works. Look at that. It just works. It's beautiful. It just worked. Ah! Ha! This is the universe. This is the universe telling me that we need to work on this project. Now, but wait. The universe is not done talking yet. The universe might fuck me yet. So let's just calm down. Let's just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. We're going to go to... Oh, boy. It's been so long. I'm going to go to Kekbo Web. You guys are going to love... I'm not sure. You might have seen this back in the day. Back in November, I was working on this. You might have seen me working on this. Razman, I'm pretty sure you have not. Okay, there's the Faith No More command. Okay, I remember the Faith No More command. Okay, and then now from here, I think we just do npm start, right? And then remember we were having all that trouble, like way back. I was like trying to get the web interface to work with the. It was like a whole thing. I was trying to get the web interface to work with. No. I was trying to get a single project to work as a web interface and as an Electron app, and that was the issue I was having. But literally, that was back in November. It was like October, November, and literally just in those 5 months since I last tried that, just in that time, AI has gotten a ton better. Just in the past 5 to 6 months, AI has gotten a lot better. So AI might actually be very helpful with that. So, okay, come on. Don't mock me. Don't you mock me. What is this? How are we going to use Kekbo to mess with this form? Ah! Yes! Okay. Not sure. We've abandoned Pacelock for now. We've abandoned it. It's dead. It's dead to me. I think that might just... It also, I don't think it has a lot of appeal. So, I thought we could knock it out, but now I don't want to fucking deal with permission issues with PHP. That, like, come on. Come on. It's so discouraging. Okay, so here I do have a username. Come on, baby. Where did I define? Okay, user 1, password 1. Let's see if it logs me in. Code is pain, Not Sure says. Yes, it is, but when it works, it feels good. So this is what I was talking about. This is the message board app. So tell me, do you want to work on the message board app? What do you want to work on Sunday? The message board app, the game, or on Pacelock? Like, really? Are you going to really choose Pacelock? I mean, I might work on Pacelock tomorrow by myself in the morning when I wake up. But I think Not Sure really wants to troll this guy. I think he really wants to troll the guy on my board. Not Sure, you're not even on my board. Or are you? You might be. I don't know. I have had my suspicions that you're one of the guys on my board. So where were we in this project? So this is Kekbo. This is the Discord clone I was talking to you about. The federated Discord clone. Yeah, I was working on like an abstract authenticator. I think is the last part we were working on here. I honestly don't remember like what pain points we had, other than the whole like the electron part. So if you look over here at Authenticator, the idea here is, right, you just have an authenticate method. Now this Authenticator, this really should be like MySQL Authenticator, right? Because Authenticator itself would be an abstract class that would just implement this authenticate method, and then you would have plugins essentially that did a MySQL authentication, which is what this is doing now. You can see it's just going, it's selecting from a table for a username. But you could have a text file authenticator where it just loads up a text file and looks for the username. You could have a Xenforo authenticator where it actually goes into the Xenforo database and looks for the username and password and does all of that. So you could have custom authenticators. But this project, the thing I liked about this project was that it was doing a lot of stuff in TypeScript. Where is it? It's been months since I've looked at this. Oh, I do remember that. I remember there was like a bug. There was some bug about if you entered the wrong name or something. I don't remember. It's been a while. I know nothing about architecture. No, it's all right. I'm still learning about architecture. And I'm an architect. I'll be the user on the Tor browser. You need to get on. Yes, do get on the. Come get on the board. Come join up for the board. Not Sure. It is amb.dog. There is a registration code. Let me get it for you. I gotta find it. I'm looking for it off screen. All right, I guess I can show this. This isn't anything terrible. Where is the registration code? Registration code. It must not be called a registration code. It must be called something else. Oh, registration code right here. So the registration code is sign me up, bro! Exclamation point. Rosman, you of course are welcome as well. That is the sign me up, bro. If you go to amb.dog, you do a new user, and then you sign up. I'm going to go through the experience myself. I don't think I ever have done that. Let me go off over here really quick. I just want to make sure I'm not showing anything wrong. Okay, so then we would have username would be I am so cool. Email is going to be cooldude@gmail.com. The password, of course, will be password. And then the password appears in the top 10 most common passwords list because I literally typed password. I am human, and then here, click and hold and drag the element on the right to the shape that is most similar. That would be this. I am so smart. No, it's not that I'm smart. It's that I'm human. And the registration code, of course, is sign me up, bro. And then I click register. I'm literally scared of what it's going to say. So let me do this off here. Okay, and then I'll have to approve it. Your account is currently waiting confirmation. Oh, okay. Confirmation was sent. Yeah. So anyway, so if you guys want to sign up, that'd be great. It's nice to know that this is working. It's nice to know that this is working. But I the reason I wanted to work on Pace Lock tonight is literally because I thought I could knock it out in a weekend. But as much as I talk, I don't know if that's possible. And now with these permission issues, or this issue that I'm seeing on Windows, that I just don't have it in me to fight them right now because I've been fighting configuration issues for the past 3 days during the day. And so there's that, and then I know that I can go to a computer downstairs or grab, my MacBook, and it's going to work just fine. It's like, well, I should just do it on my MacBook while I'm sitting on the couch watching TV with my wife. Like that's, So let me know if you would like to, and if you'd like me to work on Kekbo, which is the chat program, or if we want to go back to the game, right? This is the struggle I have in my mind, and because the struggle in my mind is like the whole reason I wanted to do Pace Lock because I thought I could knock it out in a weekend, and the reason I want to do Kekbo is because I find it interesting. To me, it's probably the most interesting of the 3 projects that are floating in my head. And then the reason I want to do the game is because the game is also really interesting. And I think the game, I would love to be able to put a game up on Steam, even if it's not the greatest of games, but just put something up there to kind of to pop that cherry, so to speak. What's the website again? How in the hell do you honestly like Pace Lock? I think you're trolling me. I honestly think you're trolling me. There's the URL for the website. I honestly think you're trolling me, not sure. You really you like Pace Lock. Razman, what about you? What do you want, Razman? You gotta tell me what you want me to work on, Razman. The game, Pace Lock, or Kekbo? I want to know. I don't know if I trust. Not sure. Now I'm actually more convinced, not sure, that you are somebody from my message board. Because you're somebody from my message board, and the reason you want me to work on Pace Lock is because you want me to disable that person's pasting ability. I am convinced of that now. I'm convinced. Sorry, I'm reading a message on my board. Okay, Razman says the game. I'm kind of thinking the game too. Yep. And the game didn't give us all these configuration pain points. Like, Kekbo is cool, but there's a lot of configuration things that can go wrong. So, yeah. All right. But I'm intrigued. How the hell are you also... How are you guys intrigued by Pace Lock? Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm going to work on Pace Lock. Like I said, I'm going to work on it tomorrow on the couch while I'm watching TV with my wife. I'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll work on it. If we don't work on it on Sunday, we'll work on the game. Sound good? I've been streaming for 3 hours. I'm exhausted. My voice is hurting. I'm going to call it a night. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. Check out my travel channel, Addy Goes Places. I have a new video coming out next week. And then check out my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I saw that Razman followed me on Instagram. Cool. I think I followed you back. But yeah. And I will be back on Sunday. Like I said, Monday's my birthday. My daughter's coming over Monday for my birthday, so I want to be able to hang out with her. So I'll see you Sunday night. I hope you guys can make it Sunday. I hope to see you both here, and I hope to see some other faces. And yeah, we'll talk on Sunday, and we'll fucking work on Pace Lock. You weirdos, you freaking weirdos wanted me to work on a message board pasting program. All right, we'll see what we can do. All right, good night, guys.